Okay, this video is for the 2021 Set3 end of the year CPA paper 3, and on the screen now it shows task 2, media computing. We are to create a game using Scratch, okay, and you are provided with this image, vaccine, and we are to choose the file COVID maze. So we have to look at the file and see whether it can open up. So go and open Scratch 3, load from your computer, and COVID maze is here, open, and okay, so this is the background with this sprite. Okay, so now we have to save our work as index number, name, and CM, and we have to insert vaccine as another sprite, or otherwise known as object or character. Okay, so upload sprite. Okay, so vaccine here, just one will do. Okay, so go back to the question paper and take a look at more instructions. Question number 4, create a background called you win. It should look like this. So a plain background will do with 2 words. Okay, so let's create a background. So for background, go to stage. Here, new background, you have to paint, and I'm going to fill with a color of my choice. Okay, so fill this color. Looks like it can't be done under paint bucket tool, so I'm going to convert to bitmap, and using the bucket blue fill, click one time, it works. Okay, and I'm going to type here you win. Okay, the color is the same, so I have to change color to black. Okay, lightly tap one time and try to resize it. Okay, so that's all for the new background, and let's look at the instructions. You have to create a game where the player tries to move the vaccine to catch the virus. So when the game starts, the background is switched to maze, and the timer is displayed on the screen. So before I move out from here, the background one, I must put it as you win, so as to identify it easily. Okay, so go back to the virus code. Okay, so when the game starts, when green flag is clicked, okay, I will switch background, so looks, switch background to maze. Okay, next instruction, and the timer is displayed on the screen. Timer is set to 10. So for timer, I like to use a separate codes, so I will start another green flag, and I have to make a variable called timer. Okay, I'm going to set timer to 10. Okay, next. Okay, vaccine is resized to 40% and goes to this position x equals -60 and y is -75. So this is for the vaccine. Okay, so vaccine, also first remember to select vaccine, and also must have the when green flag is pressed. Okay, when green flag is click, then you go to resize, so resize is looks. Okay, set size to 40%, and you must go to this position, so motion, go to x and y, so enter the values that were given. Okay, so it is -60 and -75. Okay, for the virus is resized to 15%, and the virus appears at at positive 170 and 130. So go to virus. Okay, so virus is size is 15%, and the position go to 170 and 130 for the Y value. Okay, so during the game, the vaccine is moved up, down, left, right using the arrow keys on the keyboard and will not move when touching the side of the maze. So if you touch the maze, it will stop moving. So let's see, now we cannot see the maze because our stage is at the wrong, showing the wrong backdrop. Okay, so we need to go to backdrops and choose maze instead. Okay, then we can see clearer. Okay, so I'm not going to have any codes in the background, so I'm going to go to vaccine, put this aside. For vaccine, it is the one that is going to be moved around. Okay, so I will go to control, events. When up arrow is pressed, then I will move the vaccine by changing the Y value. Okay, so positive 10, and if touching, so under sensing, if touching the gray color, so I need to have a if. So if touching gray color, click on the color and click on this color picker tool and choose gray from the screen. Okay, so you choose change the gray. Okay, so if touch this gray maze, and it will do the opposite. So I'll put change Y by negative 10. So always do the opposite so that it will not walk further. Okay, so I'm going to do this code for down, left and right, but for left and right it should be change X. So I'm going to duplicate this for down first. For down is going negative 10, and if you touch the maze gray color, it should do the opposite, so positive 10. Okay, so for left and right, left, okay, when left arrow is clicked, then we shall move the vaccine by changing its X value, but because it's left, so on the number line going left is getting smaller, so negative 10. Okay, and if touching the gray maze, so I'm going to borrow this duplicate. Okay, so it's easier if you duplicate other existing codes. Okay, so if touching gray color, then we shall change X. Okay, so remember, don't choose set X. Set X will be fixed, so just change X by the opposite. So opposite of negative is positive, so positive 10. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this for right, and going right is increasing X value, and after touching the, if touching the gray maze, it will be doing the opposite, so negative 10. So okay, so all these four up, down and left, right, all these four codes must be available for the vaccine to move. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in, and you can pause the video for a while. So to continue, before we continue, you should press the green flag and see that all your codes have taken into effect. Okay, everything is in the right order. Okay, and you can try out the arrow keys on the keyboard to check if the vaccine moves. Okay. Next. Okay, the timer will decrease by 1 for every 1 second, so we have not done this. Okay, so we need to go back to where we put the timer. Then you put it here and the virus. Okay, you can put it anywhere. It can be vaccine, at virus, or in the stage. Okay, so just make sure you put it only once. So for green flag, set timer to 10, and for every 1 second, so forever if forever wait 1 second and change. So under variables, change timer by -1. Okay, so you can pause the video here. Okay, so now let's continue. If timer is 0 seconds, then the vaccine and virus will disappear. Okay, so the background will be switched to the end and the game will end. So when the player runs out of time, okay, so where do we put this? We can always choose to put it at the virus or vaccine, not a problem, because both virus and vaccine have to disappear. So I'm going to do a forever loop. Okay, under the main codes, this is only for the timer, so put it aside. So for the main codes, so forever if my timer equals to, so you have to use all this, okay, operators, the variable, and 0. Okay, so what happens? The virus, okay, the virus will hide. Okay, and you want the vaccine to hide as well. So instead of repeating this entire codes at the vaccine, why not just broadcast a message? Okay, so go to events, broadcast message. This message, it is to hide. Okay, so when broadcast hide, then the vaccine will receive the broadcast. So let's see if there's any main codes for the vaccine. Yes, the main codes are found here. Okay, so when I receive, okay, we have to start the new one. When I receive hide, okay, so it is a new code now, then what will happen is I will have to hide. And to balance this off, at the beginning of the game, I must show. Okay, so this is to make sure that every time we start the game, we will be able to see the vaccine. Okay, can pause the video here. Next, we have to return to the virus. Okay, we are not done here. After we broadcast hide, we are told that the background has to switch to the end. So I'm going to go to looks, switch background to the end. Oh, sorry, the end is found here. Okay, so switch background to the end, and we have to stop all. Okay, under control, stop all. So stop the entire game. All the codes will stop. Okay, so make sure you don't put it outside. It must be inside the if. Okay, if it's outside, then your game will never start. Okay, next. So we have done this. So next, when the vaccine touches virus, so vaccine is the one that touches virus, then the vaccine will say COVID be gone for 2 seconds and play the pop sound. And both the sprites will disappear and switch background to you win and the game ends. Okay, so let's go to vaccine now. Okay, under the main codes is this one. Okay, so under the main codes we shall put a forever loop so that the game will forever check if it's touching the virus. Okay, so we put the forever loop, forever if sensing touching virus. So what is to be done is you have to hide the timer because the game is coming to an end. Okay, so hide timer shows that you know that you're not going to count the time anymore. Okay, so variables, hide timer, and you will say, so under loops, say COVID be gone for 2 seconds, and for the sound, okay, you have to choose sound from the library. Okay, it's the pop sound. Okay, and for codes, you go back to codes and you have to play sound code pop until done. Okay, and next would be to hide. So we have to hide. Okay, under looks, hide. Okay, and you can broadcast hide to ask the virus to hide as well. So broadcast hide. So under control or events, broadcast hide. Okay, at this point broadcast hide, so the virus when I receive hide, I should hide as well. Okay, and to balance it off, make sure that there's a show at the beginning before the forever. Okay, you can pause the video for now. We will go back to the vaccine codes. Okay, so this is the vaccine codes. So we are still left with switching the background. So we go to looks, switch background to you win, and we have to stop all. So to end the game, we go to control, stop all. Okay, so with that, please make sure you play your game and to debug whenever necessary. Okay, if not, if everything is all good, then please submit in Google Classroom. Thank you.